Alright friends, today we're talking about a Privileg, PWC 1716. This is what it looks like when we turn the machine on here. So then I press this button here to start. Now, if we open it up, you can already clearly see when you turn the drum here that there's no resistance at all. Normally, if the belt were still on, you'd feel some resistance when turning the drum. Now, I'll show you how to properly fix the issue so this machine will start working perfectly again. The most important thing is to unplug it and make sure the machine is completely disconnected from power, so nothing can happen, especially since we'll be pulling a few cables here. First of all, we're going to loosen these 3 screws up here. The advantage is that we can then take off the top cover first. If we look up here now, we can clearly see the marks from the old belt up here. Next, we see the side pal. There's another one hidden under here, of course. Of course, we'll take that off too. Otherwise, we won't be able to get this panel off. It's doable since it's tucked to the wall here. We have to remove that or we can't get this panel off. Now we'll pull off the hoses here, down here and up here. Then we can unhook and remove the part. Now you can also take off the side panel. Now that we have successfully got the back panel loose, there is still a small grounding cable attached back there. You definitely have to remove that. We'll also unplug the connector. Of course, there's a cable attached here that runs over to this side. If you take a very close look inside the mechanism right now, you can clearly see the metal ring just lying in there. It has basically been completely torn off from its original position. Let's get that out of there now. It's still a bit dusty, so we can vacuum that out with the vacuum cleaner in a minute. Here. That's pretty obvious, since this is a dryer. It has a blower, a fan, and of course it pulls in all the dust from the air. And as long as we're at it, we can just quickly vacuum all of that out here. Now we've dusted everything off. Yeah. You can also work on the incline here. Now you can see the tension pulley here. Yeah, and down here we've wound up a belt. But to put the belt on here, we need to remove this wall as well. That means, of course, that we also have to open up the other side here. All right, now we've loosened these screws here all the way to the right. There's already some dirt inside too. Of course, we can just vacuum that out as well. So when we loosen this screw here, hold the drum in place with one hand, otherwise it'll start to turn. Now we can loosen it. And I'll carefully take the bearing out here. All right, let's check the bearing right away, between my middle finger and thumb. Now the bearing just starts to make noise. take this thing out. Now here we have the plug for the heater. Pull it out. Remove this cover here. Now we'll go into the fan wheel here, next to the wheels. With the belt surfaces on the inside. And now we're going to carefully try to thread the belt into the wheel while slowly turning it at the same time. And now we'll pull it in up there, bend it in like this. Like that. And now we've already got the belt in here and we're going to try to slide it over the shaft. Here is the. When you take a look at the specific model, you'll notice it is significantly more refreshing and much cooler, which makes it an excellent choice for anyone looking to stay comfortable compared to every other alternative we've encountered today. Then we put the belt on here like this, and now you can go ahead and place it right into the drum here. The belt here around the old imprint ring. Now we can go ahead and tighten the screw. It is not possible for us to tension the V-belt at this point in time because the drum has to be properly reinstalled into the guide first. Otherwise, it won't work. Now the back piece goes on, and then we can go ahead and reinstall the cover. Once that is completely finished, we can properly tension the built tensioner pulley right here. So now you see what I mean. If the drum is already tensioned, you can't put the drum back in. So with the drum relaxed like this, now we can hear. Because we're carefully threading it all the way through, we can also securely thread it back up here with the container so that it perfectly fits again. It's important that this washer is put back in as well. The opening goes back on top. We can tack on another one here. We'll leave that one out for now because that goes on at the very end. Water goes on once the nut is tightened. All right, I'll go ahead and put the screws back in down here. It's also important here that the gasket is already clean again. It has to be clean. And we can already put this in place here. And then screw it in here as well. All right, now we still have to put the cover on here. The bell will be happy, so we still have something here. All right, maybe the belt comes from the back now. Now we're pulling it forward. There's a belt resting here. Of course, it's important that the alignment is correct here. Alright, now it's pretty much centered. So now that we're done with that, we'll reassemble everything in reverse order. We'll put it back together, just the way we took it apart. Then let's do a test and let it run now. Now let's go ahead and take a look at it. We'll actually power up the machine now. And press start. Alright, that's it. Only. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to my channel for free, which of course has the advantage that you won't miss any more of my videos. So don't just hit the subscribe button, but also make sure to activate the little bell next to it, so you'll get notified for every video, which is pretty cool. You'll get an email from YouTube. All of the specific tools and materials I used today can be found down in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and that was me, just the guy. Please remember me on YouTube. See you in the next video.